Welcome back. Chapter 5 is the conclusion of this document, and it's entitled Spirit-Filled Evangelizes. Pope Francis often uses the term missionary disciples. We are both disciples and missionaries. And Spirit-Filled Evangelizers is the term he uses to make us more aware of the working of the Spirit. At Pentecost, the Spirit descends on the apostles, and the people who have been locked up in the upper room break forth. They burst out of the upper room and they go into the squares and they proclaim that Jesus Christ is Lord. And this is what we are called to do. We are called to be people who want to share the good news we have received. The Spirit of God transforms the apostles, and the Spirit of God will transform us as well. We have this newness, this life, this joy. Pope Francis says that this newness of the gospel, to proclaim the gospel, must be proclaimed with boldness. The Greek word he writes is paressa. And this boldness in every time and every place, in every new time and every new place, even when we meet opposition. For Pope Francis, joy is important to the gospel message. The gospel message is all about mercy. And now he introduces this word, paressa, which he explains and expands upon in his document on the call to holiness. We are called to be people of courage. Jesus Christ has conquered sin and death. And therefore, we have to be bold. We cannot be timid. In St. Paul's letter to Timothy, he reminds Timothy that the Spirit of God is not a spirit of timidity. It's a spirit of power and love and self-control. And we are called upon to be people who are bold. We are to be firmly rooted in prayer. Prayer is at the heart of our ministry. Prayer is at the heart of our activity. And Jesus wants us to proclaim good news. And we proclaim good news not merely by the way we talk, but by the way we live. We are to be the presence of Christ to our brothers and sisters. We live in a culture where we're expected, or at least we hope to be, bold. We are not spectators. We are not bystanders. Rather, we are in the world and we are of the world. Often we have to criticize and critique the world. But we do it not as an enemy. We do it as people who love the world. God so loved the world, he gave his only Son. We are called to go out into our field of mission. And our field of mission is everywhere. Prayer is important. And one of the aspects of evangelization is prayer. And not just prayer, listening to the Lord, but praying for the needs of our world. We have to have the heart of St. Paul. St. Paul says, I pray constantly for you because I hold you in my heart. And as disciples of the Lord, we have to hold the world in our heart. We have to hold our brothers and sisters in our heart, and we have to pray for them and for our world. True intercessionary prayer doesn't divert us. It's not a substitute. Rather, It is an active and authentic contemplation which always has a place for others. We have received the Spirit of God. And this Spirit, the Spirit of Pentecost, is the gift to the church. And just like the Spirit is the gift to the church, Mary, the mother of evangelization, the mother of the Lord, is a gift to the church. With the Spirit, she is present in the midst of the people. She has joined the disciples in praying for the coming of the Spirit, and when the Spirit comes, she receives the Spirit as well. Without Mary, we could never truly understand the spirit of the new evangelization. At the foot of the cross, in what Pope Francis calls the supreme hour of the new creation, what St. John calls the doxa, the glory of Christ, when Christ enters into his glory, Christ hands Mary to the church and the church to Mary. The Lord did not want to leave the church without this icon of womanhood. Mary, who brought him into the world with great faith, also accompanies the rest of her offspring, those who have kept faithful, the faithful remnant of God, and who bear testimony to him. Mary is an image, Mary is an icon of the faithful disciple. Our commitment to Christ, being a Christian, is not the result of an ethical choice or a lofty idea, but the encounter with an event, a person, Jesus Christ, which gives life a new horizon and a decisive direction. We are Spirit-filled evangelizers. The way we live our life proclaims the truth that Jesus Christ is risen. And mission is sharing this truth with our brothers and sisters. To be continued.